Hello, welcome to this video tutorial on the SMT store operator functions. We are going to have a look at the storage and equipment functionality. So in this video, we are going to try to understand the storage and equipment screen. We will learn how to register storage space and how to edit and delete storage space from your SMT. I'm going to begin by logging into the SMT as a store operator. If you only have a store operator role, you will be logged in directly. If you have more than one role, you will come to this screen where you need to select whether you want to log in as a country admin or as a store operator. So I'll click apply, and now I'm logged in as a store operator. For now, my SMT is pretty much empty, so I'm going to start with the storage and equipment screen. So this is a functionality that provides information on key stock management parameters and allows operators to manage the space available for the storage of vaccines and other supplies. So entering the storage equipment here is one of the first things that you need to do when you start using the SMT. So the first thing that we are going to do is to look at this screen and understand what are the different things that you can see here. So this screen is divided into two main parts. The top part of the screen is read-only, so these two tables here. And it allows the store operator to review some key parameters for their own store. The bottom part of the screen is the functionality that allows the user to register storage space. So starting from the top, here we have some reference values. So we can see our supply interval, safety stock, and lead time. These values can only be entered by the administrator. So when you access the SMT as a store operator, this you are going to see it here by default, and you cannot edit. If you want to make any changes, you need to talk to your administrator. If you are also an administrator, there is a separate video tutorial on how to edit these parameters. So basically you will see here the supply interval, which is the number of weeks in between vaccine deliveries. You are going to have here your safety stock, so it's the minimum recommended stock levels that should be kept at all times in your store. And then you have your lead time, which is the time between a stock request and arrival of supplies in store. On the second table, you can have a look at the required storage capacity for your store. So these values represent the required capacity defined for this vaccine store. This is a theoretical value, and it has been calculated and entered by the administrator. So the idea is that you as a store operator, you just have these values as a reference of how much capacity you should have in your store. So for the +5 temperature range, so for your fridges, working coolers, and so on, you are supposed to have a total of 20,000 liters. For the -20, you are supposed to have 5,000 liters. For the ultra cold chain, 800 liters, and as ambient capacity, you should have 5,000 liters. Again, this is something that you as a store operator cannot change. You just have it here as a reference value. On the third table here, we are having the available cold and dry storage capacity. So here we have the actual storage capacity available at your vaccine store. So these values are linked to this other table. So the table below is where you are going to enter the storage equipment that you have in your store, and you are going to assign a specific status to them, like functional, non-functional. So what you will see here is just a sum of all the storage equipment that you have registered, taking into account, of course, only the functional ones. Now that we have understood the different tables on this screen, we are going to start registering storage space. So this is the first step for the store operator before starting to use the SMT. is a prerequisite for the registration of stock transactions such as arrivals or issues. So you cannot register any vaccines or any other stock into the SMT until you have your storage space set up. So what we are going to do is we come to the bottom table here that at the moment is empty, and we are going to click the Add button. This button is going to open a new window, and this is where we are going to register our storage equipment. So under equipment category, we are going to select the type of equipment that we want to register. So let's say that we start, for example, by entering one of our refrigerators. We are going to select the manufacturer or supplier of that refrigerator. In this case, I will select Doulas. I'm going to select my model. So let's assume that is this one. And by default, the moment I select the model, the SMT is going to give me the gross capacity, which is provided by the manufacturer of the equipment, and the net capacity. Of course, we know that in some cases it's possible to arrange some shelves or some baskets, so this net capacity that we have might not be exactly the same as the one that the SMT is giving us. So the gross capacity is not editable, but the net capacity we can edit it, okay, as the user. The other thing that we need to edit is the equipment name. So here we have the specific model, but in our store it's possible that we have maybe 3 of this same refrigerator. So we need to assign a name to them to make sure that we can differentiate them. So I'm going to call this one fridge 01, for example. Then I need to enter the date of installation. So I click here on the calendar. I can select the year. Then I can navigate the months. And I just select the date when this equipment was installed. And here we have the date of last mapping. Of course, this is more relevant for the walk-in coolers. If mapping is not conducted, we are just going to select the same as the date of installation. So I go back 2022. We were saying this was July, 1st of July, and I just leave it like that. And then finally, I need to select whether this equipment at the moment is functional or not functional. So let's assume that my equipment, my fridge one, is working well. So I select functional. Once I have finished, I just click create. And I should see a green message that says data saved successfully. The moment the line is registered here, you can see that on top, the net capacity has been added to my available capacity. Now I just need to repeat this process as many times as necessary to make sure that I have registered all my refrigerators, all my fridges, all the equipment that I have in the store. And very important, do not forget to enter your dry storage as well. Because if you don't register your dry storage, later on when you want to register the arrival of supplies like syringes or safety boxes or any other things that you are going to store in your dry storage area, you will not be able to register it because you have not set up dry storage. So you come here, you click add, you enter your freezers, you enter your ultra cold chain if you have any, your walk-in coolers, walk-in freezers, and also the dry storage. For the dry storage, we don't have any specific equipment list. So if you have any specific supplier that you want to register, or if it was just like a storage room, you can just enter the details of that storage room and then enter manually your gross and net capacity. If the dry storage is fully functional, you just click functional and that item will be added to your list, and the net value will be added here to the ambient storage. Once a cold chain equipment or storage space has been registered, it is possible to modify its details using the editing functionality. So the store operators can use this functionality to assign a different name to the equipment, to change the net capacity, or to change the functionality status, for example. So you just need to locate the line of the item that you want to edit. You come here to the action column and you click the edit sign. This will reopen your window, and here you can make the edits that you want. Let's assume for this example that my fridge is now not working. I'm just waiting for repair. So I want to change the status from functional to non-functional. So I change that, I click update. Once a cold chain equipment or storage space has been registered, it's possible to modify its details using the editing functionality. So the store operators can use this functionality to, for example, assign a different name to the equipment, change the net capacity, or to change the functionality status if needed. To do that, you only need to come here to your table, locate the line of the item that you want to edit. You come to the last column, which is the action button, and you click here on the edit sign. This is going to reopen the details of your equipment, so you can just select the value that you want to modify. For the purpose of this example, we are going to assume that this fridge now is not working well. I'm awaiting repair, but I cannot use it for the moment, so I'm going to change the status from functional to non-functional. Once I have changed that, I'm going to click update. The item is going to be updated successfully, and I'm going to see here that at the end of the line under the column status, I can see that my item has now been logged as non-functional. Also, the net capacity that was 132 liters and was showing here as available capacity, now my available capacity is back to 0. So this item, we are not counting it because at the moment we cannot use it. So it's very important that whenever you have equipment that is not being used, it is not functional, you come here and you change the status to make sure that the information on your available storage capacity is always up to date. Once we have our list of equipment and storage space, it is also possible to delete items from this list by using the delete functionality. So it's a similar process. You just need to locate the line that you want to remove from your list. At the end, you have this action column, and you can just click on the delete button. The SMT is going to ask you for confirmation. If you are sure that you want to delete this item, you can just click yes. You will see a message that the data has been deleted successfully, and that specific line will disappear from your list of items. Here is very important to understand that you can only delete storage space when it's not yet in use. So for example, if you have made a mistake when entering the data, so you have entered a piece of equipment twice, you can come here and remove it. Now, if you have already started adding vaccines or other stock to your storage space, it is not possible to remove those items from the list. If they are no longer functional, you can change the status as non-functional, but you will not be able to delete them. So this is all for the storage and equipment functionality. Just make sure that you come and set up your storage space before you try to enter any stock, and make sure that if there is any changes in the functionality status of your equipment. You also come here and you update your functionality accordingly. I hope this video tutorial has been useful. See you in the next one.